Lots of people, including the average Ghanaian, because we want the best for Ghana. We want our music to plug in globally. Jealously, we want to say that we want to be more than even what our brothers in Nigeria are doing globally as well. We want to be in the front seat because to us it's a big problem. But something is blocking our shine, and that is how I'm just putting that simple terms. What is blocking our shine? And that's a conversation we're going to be having this afternoon. My pundits my pundits are in the studio. Let me say a good afternoon to Mr. Rudy Kwache and Sadiq Abdullahi Abu. Sadiq, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Foley.
Yes, you are in Kumasi this weekend.
Yes, I was in Kumasi yesterday.
Okay, let me just get your microphone on there as well. If you can hear me loud and clear. Yes.
Hello? Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. How was Kumasi?
Well, it was good. It was good. We had a master class yesterday. Actually, it was a Guinness Bright House Creative Arts Master Class in collaboration with 3 music networks. And so it's a 3-city one. We did the first one in Kumasi yesterday. We're there in Tamale tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we do Takra Day next week Saturday.
Okay.
And then when we are done, I think that there's a proposal to do Accra as well.
Well, I think all in the interest of finding ways to groom our artists, for that global conversation, which is very key and very important. Rudy, let me one more time say congratulations to your team. He's wondering what I'm congratulating him on, but it's about Afro Nation. 2 years ago, I mean, you guys did the impossible. You brought.
It's still impactful, so we need to talk about it.
Yes. They brought the world to Ghana.
Right.
As we are all looking forward to taking Ghana to the world, he found a very smart way of
bringing the world to Ghana.
Are we expecting any more Afro nations?
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Hopefully, with too simple a word to give me.
We want. Listen,
this year.
I mean, you know that the borders of the country is technically still not open. You're still not supposed to do events beyond 2 hours. You're still the congregation of people in certain spaces.
Yeah.
I also have limited numbers. Yeah, that's what law-abiding citizens. But I think again, you must also say that we all feel a little bit at ease because of the level of vaccination programs that is going on. We're keeping pace with the globe in terms of.
So are we likely to see an Afro nation this year?
This year,
yeah.
No. We need a huge lead time to do that because of how you drop and how you package these things. But I honestly, the future holds a lot of promise.
Well, this means that we're looking at up until next year. That's like 5 years
but it's
into
good.
next year. Next year is like 5 years away from now.
Look, we're in 2021. Puerto Rico is going on sale. Portugal is on sale. Is back on sale for 2022. So there's activity. You never know. It's 6 months, 9 months to time. So the timing is. You never know.
You never know. Anyway, but so I mean, both of you in your areas are doing a good job. Talking about events, talking about brand connections, you are doing your good job by trying to plug Ghana in there. So our conversation this afternoon, we are looking at exactly what is the state of our industry and why or what is blocking our shine. Some people have argued out already that no, we are doing well. I mean, we are seeing the likes of the Sarkodie and the Shatters and the Beyonce collaborations. All these things are happening, so it's a conversation in progress. But the question is that enough? But even before we go into that, is that enough? Let's look at the state that we are in. I want us to drill down into the DNA, the fabric of our Ghanaian artist setup, right down to their setup. Does the problem begin there? Or the problem is beginning with our structures? When they say structures, which structures? Who is supposed to be in charge of what? And these are the things that are on our minds. We keep blaming each other and pointing fingers, but who is really in charge of this conversation about plugging our music to the world?
Jay.
And I'm starting off with you,
Jay.
Rudy. Yes.
I'm going to hit a reset button on a few things that you've said.
Okay.
And just to the listening public, we've been having these conversations in private, so let's just bring it all out. We won't go into it, but I think today we need to kind of bring it to. We need to bring it to a certain space.
Okay.
I think we should stop saying that there's no progress. We should problem not the finish. That's first and foremost. Like if you think the global music industry is actually cruising to on the good space, I'm sure when you talk to Sir Lucian Granger, he's going to have to tell you that, look, I live from quarter to quarter. Like, he meets his board, and every quarter they need to check his numbers to see where is your next billion coming from. So problem not finished. Let's establish that.
Yes.
And then coming to our space, let's also agree on a few things. There's been massive amount of progress. It is a lie that we are not plugged into any global system anywhere in the world.
Okay, Rudy, it depends on where you stand from.
No,
but I'll allow you
there's
to
the
finish.
same. That's why I'm saying.
I'll allow you to finish. Yes.
I'm coming with a wrecking ball at a few of the
Okay.
myths that we propagate. We should stop that.
Okay.
There is a system that we are already part, and I'm going to give you 3 indicators. If you picked your phone today and downloaded Shazam app, any song you're hearing from any bar, wherever you are right now, I'm going to tell you that probably 99.9% you're going to find that local song you're listening to ingested into Shazam.
When you say local song, Ghanaian
Whatever,
song.
Ghanaian song.
Ghanaian
Song. Let me, good, Ghanaian song. That it means we've been plugged in already. That's 1. 2, when was the last time you saw a CD release from your favorite artist? When was the last time you saw a billboard that says CD sold at Cantonment to Opera Square? When rather not listing any of the streaming platforms. And I'll name the top 5. When was the last time you saw that? It is untrue to say that we are not plugged in. It is already there. The problem, let's redefine it, is discovery.
Well, I beg to, but
The
I'll still,
data has been ingested, guys. When DC leaker started to put Ghana music on the web.
Yes.
Like, what's the old... That guy, Kojo.
But would you want to separate? Would you want to separate?
Kwame Joe TV.
Would you want to
aggregating YouTube
let me take
content.
you back on that point.
Yeah.
Would you want to separate trends from being plugged in? Because definitely CDs have outmoded.
Yes.
So
No, but I'm
is that an
saying
indicator to say that?
Jay,
Yes, I'm listening.
What I'm pushing at is,
Okay.
until we define the problem very well, we'll go around in circles. The problem is not plugging in. I'm saying we are plugged in. The problem is activation, or what I would call discovery. How do you aid being found? Right now, we thought we were 33 million. Census says we are 30.
So we are short by.
We are short. But the thing is we're 30 million people.
Yeah.
But we are part of the 7 billion, 8 billion global community. So what we did in 2019 aided Ghana to be rediscovered by people that didn't know Ghana. It would have been erroneous for us to think that people didn't know. No, we just aided our rediscovery algorithm, or we just boosted where we sit to be found. And I'm saying that Ghanaian music is already plugged in. The biggest female act, and I'm saying female, not I'm going gender because I need to be specific.
Yes.
Went around a billion plus continent and found only about 4 or 5 acts to work with. Thankfully, an artist from Ghana was part of the choices. You can't tell me that we are not plugged in. If she didn't know Ghana, if Ghana didn't hold promise, she would not have gone all the way to the level of involvement that she did. And Beyonce was spoiled for choice. So please, let's stop the conversation. We are plugged in. The problem is, how do we aid activation, discovery? You can choose any of this.
Can you define this discovery that you're talking about?
Okay. So you are.
So we understand.
So put it this way: YouTube says that on a daily basis, the amount of content that is uploaded in a year, in a day, it would take you about 72 years to watch everything. Like within today's 24 hours, the amount of content that people are putting there. If you sat not doing anything, no drink, no movement, don't go to the loo, 72 years is probably what it would take you. I have to check the number and confirm.
Yeah.
But that is the amount of content in a 24-hour period. So the question becomes, if you are a YouTuber from Ochemberiate, how do you let your content percolate to the top so it gets discovered? That is a different problem from I don't have access to. We have access to. It's about aiding that discovery and activation. And now that's also a different problem to have. So I just wanted to understand. You know, we make this thing like, I had to plug our music. We are plugged in. There are publishing contracts being signed every left, right, center on a daily basis. But what do you think they were doing? It just gives you access.
Yeah.
But
So
if it's not being activated,
okay.
it's a different problem. So as soon as we define that problem, we can find solutions.
Well, in this term, maybe I'm going to come. Okay, let me come to you, Sadiq. Let's hear you.
Well, I mean, I agree with Rudy as well on that. I think that the conversation that we're having really is how we are activating the music in the ways that it should be discovered by more and more people than we have, or activating the music to gain that globally resonating effect as much as possible. And I'm sure that when people are not able to directly or specifically connected to it, they're able to easily point to like, what we're talking about is like how maybe Wizkid or the video has done it, you know. And there are ways to it. There are ways to do that. But yes, Rudy is right that if we're talking about where we've gotten to, and we're talking about the now of music, we're plugged in. The music are on digital platforms. They are on Spotify. Spotify is a global platform. Apple Music is a global platform. Shazam is a global platform. YouTube is a global platform. So yes, we are on these platforms. And so if you want to literally look at that, we are plugged into the global platforms.
So
However, I think that the core today is how we can ensure that, yes, we are on these global platforms like everybody else, but how do we ensure that we get that much needed global recognition for our music and for our talents in the ways that it's happened for other countries?
So that becomes the definition of the plug-in that we are looking,
Yes,
because
yes.
everybody across the world is plugged in. Chad, Mali, I mean, they all have access to these platforms.
Yes.
So if
Because
we're
even
defining
the
our
activations-
plug-in here today, and I don't want us to run away from the word plug-in, if we are defining our plug-in here, our explanation to this is how we want to be recognized, you know, because others are doing it, we see it, but we feel you know, in Ghana there's demand, there's request, there's, you know, people are putting pressure on the Ghanaian artists, the artists are putting pressure back on, and you know, the Ghanaians asking for support. So the question is, it looks like there is a problem somewhere, but we are failing to talk about the problem, and we want to know what exactly the problem is. So who is responsible for leading this conversation? Who's responsible for now talking about the activations, you know, that you are, because the artists are all using the platform, YouTube. I mean, so what is happening? Because it looks like when Wizkid plugs into YouTube, he gets the numbers. And I'm using the Nigerian artist, you know, as example, because we always do that. If Davido plugs in as equal as, I think he has the same plug-in access as Shatawale or Sarkodie.
Yeah.
Yes. Wizkid had a collaboration with Beyonce. Shatawale had a conversation. I mean, what do you call it?
Collaboration.
A collaboration, beg your pardon.
Beyonce,
Yes,
yeah.
with Beyonce. But there was a difference in the global reaction to this. What is the problem? The why? What is happening? Who is getting it wrong? And that's the question that I am putting to you this afternoon.
Again, I would say that let's be circumspect. Nobody's getting it wrong. Again, there's a million, probably a billion people going after the same, going after the same type of the same market. All of these people that are going after these markets actually are doing something. So which means we need to do 2 to 3 times, 10 times more than these people are doing. We also need to be able to spot when our opportunity, when we have openings to be able to actually go in. As I said something in 2019, right? And with how Year of Return climaxed, it wasn't Beyonce that needed to release that musical called Black is Whatever. Anybody needed to release content, Ghana should have released the movie. That was a perfect year to actually showcase. We had the momentum, we had an opening, we were the synergy of the globe. At that time, we should have literally just, even if we just took what people took on their phones and wrote a story and did a voiceover over it, it would probably have gone it would have gone super viral at that time. These are some of the ways we miss out on gaining further discovery and entrenching our brand. Now, when you talk about leadership, I don't think there's a one person, one player, one body that is supposed to lead. It is more of every part of this whole ecosystem needs to do theirs. So, again, an intentional play, like getting a Ghana movie together in 2019 that featured top 50 of our artists all getting a song in there with the rights and licensing, would have aided the discovery. It would have pushed our music further. And we will talk about some of these more technical play, right? And that's just one part that maybe a central government, a tourism ministry, a creative industry body could have done, right? That's their part. But honestly, it doesn't stop with them. There's also artists themselves. Look, a missed opportunity is a diarising BTS behind the scenes look at every single process that took place before the Shatawale song with Beyonce came live. That was, for me, but I know probably B actually
NDAs.
locked it up. He didn't license.
NDAs.
The NDAs and licenses didn't happen. But I'm just citing some of these examples. Look, Sarkodie's recent play around, promoting his new album and everything.
Yeah.
Again, if there was a whole BTS conversation that was happening behind, it aids in. See, you have to feed the monster. The more you feed the monster, the more the monster recognizes you and pushes you up. You cannot be one-off with it. There's a certain level of intentionality you need to the table. So it's not you, it's not me, it is all of us.
So that's what I wanted to ask. Okay, Sadiq, let's hear you.
Yeah, I mean, it's all of us, but again, when you bring it down a bit, the question you would ask here is who is a product owner in this case? I can understand the rules, the environment generally. Is supposed to play in aiding the brand or aiding the discovery. But when there's a new product that's coming onto the market, you recognize that they are planning from the very basic stage. They'll prioritize marketing or promotion of it. And the idea behind the promotion and the marketing will be to achieve a certain objective, which is, put down in terms of the planning of the business. It's the same process that also should apply here. So in this case, the product owner will be, I say, the record label or the music company behind executive bankrolling the song, because primarily they would have the economic right to the song. Before the publishing and all of those things kicks in, or the talent who is doing it yourself and all of those things. So you are the product owner. You, to a large extent, determine how far the product goes. So if you're an artist, an ambition can be subjective. But if you are an artist or music company, you're involved into this, or you're a film company, to a large extent, you determine how far you want to go with a particular creative content that you create. So if last year all your products collectively brought you a total of 1 billion streams, put together, and you look at it and say, well, this is a work that you put in to get 1 billion streams. Next year, you probably feel that 1.5 billion streams is within reach. Then the strategy will kick in. The various different tactics and ideas in terms of what would help you reach that 1.5 million streams will kick in. So take, for instance, the recent very bright example that we can use. Kiddy last year had a very good year, but the team, I'm sure, may have sat down to say, well, this year they're looking to get more out of Kiddy. So when he drops the song, this is what they're going to do. Today, they sat down and they identified all the various platforms or avenues. When you come to terms with the fact that the biggest consumers of music will fall between, at a certain point in time, will fall between a certain specific age. Today, a chunk of them are what you call the Gen Zs. And you understand the platforms where they play and how to get their attention. It's always a point to it. But ultimately, the product owner, it's your primary responsibility to ensure that you are in charge of a product, you're in charge of how it comes out, and then ensure that you do all the things that will give you the bottom line.
Okay. So on the back of that, I want us to take the conversation back to, and I mentioned this earlier on the structure of some of our artists groups and their teams behind them, because that also is a key player to how where the product is going to end up, and the branding of the artists in total, how it's going to end up after everything's been released. Now in Ghana, have you identified any points that our artist organizational structures are missing? And if they are missing, which ones are these, Rudy? Per your experience.
Take a lot of it.
Yeah, trap
Fully, fully won't make it
yeah, trap master. No, but I'll say this, right? Again, the show's name is Show Business, right?
Yes.
Showbiz A to Z. The industry's popular moniker is, again, show and business. We do well with the show and do terribly with the business. What is missing across board is not approaching everything we do with a creative enterprise as a business. If you look closely, those who approach it with business, far gone. Far gone. Far gone.
I'm tempted to ask, like?
Plenty. And I can name from musicians to artists to writers to whatnot. Like, I mean, look, Mahama's foray into the creative arts.
You mean Ibrahim Mahama?
Ibrahim Mahama.
Contemporary arts.
Yes, contemporary arts. Like, it is possible for the guy that used to do signage at your corner to actually done that. But the thing is Mahama saw the steps. There's an international curator with a gallery in Accra and a gallery in Chicago. He's been doing back and forth. And one of my ex-colleagues actually exhibits there, and this guy used to just do graphics for us, and he was thinking he's a graphics guy. I said, no, you are not. You are never a graphics guy. I've seen you draw before, right? And take it serious. Today, he's selling $50,000 pieces.
Yeah,
$50,000 pieces. Like, shout outs to Boku Bolabi. It's, my point is, there's a business structure to this, and then there's a show structure. Internationally, it's organized as a business. Have you ever, guys, you want to sign to Universal, Sony, any of the labels, do you know they publish their financial records? Yeah. Check how much billions the CEOs are supposed to bring in. And they don't do that thinking it's all show. There's an ecosystem of business. Where we fail is we never approach this thing as a business. And that's what no other person is doing on the continent. What differentiates us from our cousins, it be business for them.
Yeah, business.
It be emotions and show for us. So we will spend all our energies exerting a lot of things into it and forgetting that, look very closely. There are talents that are grossing $100,000 living in Ghana. They play in festivals you don't hear. They play and you go to, we don't know you. Nah, the person has been out for 6 months. They've played a $5,000 a night, and they've played 10 of them. How much is that money? It is possible, but we don't pay attention to the business side. And I don't know how much else we need to scream this, but for me, it's as simple as this. So when I started out for radio, right?
Yeah.
I met a consultant, and the consultant says, if you want to know any software, there's a very simple cheat code I will show you. I was like, what? Say, listen, you can learn anything you want. You know that thing that comes with the software that says the help file?
Yeah.
Good. Read and understand the help file. Every new software you buy, take the help file and just eat it like it's your Bible. You would understand the software. You don't even need to be taught. It's the same thing. There are tons of material, white paper, whatnots that Spotify, Apple put out every day, showing you how to actually manipulate their own systems to work for you. We don't stop to read. What do you want me to do? If you're serious about business, you will read it. It's like buying a car and not reading a manual, and then you call your mechanic and he comes to tell you that, oh, this thing, the brony, it's not good. The IC for here. You do electronics before.
Okay.
You understand me?
Yes.
It's for me, it's where the gap is we don't take this thing as a business. The day we take it serious as a business, you think Afro Nation was a show?
It was a business, man.
It's an economic system. There was an ecosystem that was designed to purposefully generate revenue, impact a community. Like, Festivals do something that you guys don't know. It's called like impact, market impact. When you are done, we actually assess how much
damage you have caused.
It's both ways.
Positive damage you have
No,
caused, I must
but
say.
the thing is, yes, that's it. What did you bring into the market?
Yeah.
Do you know why your MTV Europe Awards moved from European cities to cities? Because mayors and the economic advisors sit down and do a number, and there's a whole impact analysis. And when it comes to your town, it gives you 4x, 5x. So if you spend $1 million, you make 5 million out of it. It's an economic system. In Nobi Show, it's not 30 acts.
Yeah.
It's not about the 30 acts.
It's
They
not
are
2 years.
part of the ingredient to make a beautiful jollof. So until we take this thing seriously as a business, we will not recognize the power of radio. We will not recognize the power of awards platforms, the power of television players, the power of writers, the power of business managers. We will think that is emotions, and I've done that. It's like a sense of entitlement. Nobody owes us jack, Charlie. Let's move on.
So you see the points you've just raised, which I wanted to actually come to and ask Sadiq on about how does a person, not even bring about solutions now, but how does an artist who is so creatively and passionately moved about his job be able to understand that it is not show, but it is business, as you were saying? There should be something that should, be responsible for tickling that, business sense in the person.
Jay,
Yes.
I mean, if you want to be, I can't use the word I wanted to use. If you want to be a top-notch lawyer, for instance, and it's edged in your ambition to be that, who directs you? Who directs you? Yes, who directs you to do the things that you've got to do to become that? Obviously, on your own, you would have to figure out that you've got to do your LLB, you've got to do your your post LLB when you are done, and after some years, you've got to do your LLM. Look, in fact, some of them, even at the professional level, are looking for certain specific law firms to do their privilege. Because they will kill, literally, they will kill to be in these places just so they can learn. Yesterday, I was citing an example where I spent, nearly 2.5 years on Metro TV in the beginning days to, look, I don't know whether I should talk about that for this in Express.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Listen, go ahead.
Look, ask Rudy, when Afro Nation was about happening, Rudy mentioned and spoke to me about it, but I jumped on it quickly because of the learning opportunity that it was going to give to me. I needed to fully understand the whole festival ecosystem and the way it worked. And there are a number of those things that I've done over the years, learning and assimilating a whole lot. Mm-hmm. So for you, if you want to, particularly because you are in a disadvantaged position, globally, for you to be able to plug in the ways that they are plugged in, you've got to go through any of the mega labels or the affiliates, and there are tons of them that give these industries, particularly in the matured market, a set of structure. But in this case, you are a DIY artist, do it yourself, which means that you've got to work more than the acts that find themselves in the more matured market. So, it's ultimately your experience. Your career is in your hands in terms of how you want to go and everything. But touching on the point that Rudy made. Mm-hmm. So recently when we put out there that we're going to play a certain level of videos and not going to play a certain level of
there was
other
a reaction
videos.
to that.
There were reactions and there was a flag for it. But there was something that we noticed. The total amount of hours that a particular consumer should spend on a channel a day, which is considered high enough, is an hour a day. These youngsters, the millennials and the Gen Zs, spend 3 hours watching 3 music. And so that has helped. So that has helped in us assessing some advertising and everything. Ultimately, we are responsible to, our board and to achieve our target. But take a look at, for instance, Maven's Records.
Okay.
Just this week, Tega put out something. He's a CEO at Maven's Records. And that will give you an idea of the various different units they have in just Maven Records. So they've got the digital unit, they've got the artist relations unit, they've got the new business unit, they've got the promotions unit, they've got the creative marketing unit. These are all units. So new business, promotions, creative marketing, digital, A&R. These are all units that is in a particular music company.
So their structure is mind-blowing.
Yes.
Like, it's a corporation.
Right.
It is also not a fluke that their investor is a solid, like literally owns a bank. So before you go to a checklist of somebody releasing their money for you, just imagine how much work you needed to do.
Right.
Like you going to open a bank account in Ghana, it's like 60 pages. Yeah. Exactly the point. So in order to access those things, there's something to do. And again, Jay, I'm not here to cuddle acts. You guys never known me to cuddle acts. Let's stop this thing about, you are just super creative and doing your thing. Listen, when you need to go on a long distance journey and you haven't driven long distance, what does common sense tell you? You hire a driver, right?
Yeah.
Good. When your car spoil, what do? You take it to a mechanic who you trust would have known what to do, right?
Or you pack it if you don't have the money to afford
you pack it, or if you can afford, you go back to the showroom workshop. No, I'm coming. I'm making a point.
Yes.
You go to the showroom workshop and they would actually fix it for you, right? My point is there's an expert and a player and everybody gets paid for their services. Let creatives stop for 10 seconds about it. And I know creatives actually to be successful have to be highly selfish. No. And it's okay. It's perfectly okay. Like if you've made a talent that is not selfish, walk away. That guy can't succeed. They need that selfishness too. But there's a way to apply that. If you do not recognize that there's a chain and a complex and a people, whatnot. I'm a business person. I've signed to an accounting firm that is doing my numbers. I've hired a business strategist. Like, I literally go through that cycle just so that I can improve. Because if I'm looking for that big Lucci, I have to structure myself well. Let us stop telling the guy, you are not supposed to be anything. Success requires. Without Biggs, right, there would not be Jay-Z. Biggs has been the business architect from Rockaware through to what their business is right now. Find yours. And let's stop that thing about it.
And then you see, and just for you see, I know that what Rudy has said would ultimately lead us to a particular conversation that has always come up, the issue of investment and funding. Yes, as much as it's important, you also need to recognize that, particularly if you're in the business of right ownership, right management, you can trade off some of your rights, particularly if you don't have the investment. So, I mean, there are a number of today, the aggregators, today.
Let's just make a business case.
Yeah.
I've got an idea.
Yes.
We all read about Silicon Valley, right? What do you think the investors, Flutterwave has raised 200 million. What do you think they gave for the 200 million? Because they be fine boys, so they got 200. No,
obviously not.
They traded a part
of the business
of that soft equity, their mind, their brain, the business platform, to give to somebody so someone would actually show them.
Let me ask this question.
I'm coming. Okay. Just one simple point.
Yeah.
Again, I just want to point out to something. It is not by fluke that Beyonce is doing the things that she does, because when the Made in America tour was happening, there was a gentleman who was head of sponsorships and marketing at Chase Bank. He oversaw and did the whole deal. Right after that tour, that guy quits the bank and takes over Parkwood Entertainment.
Obviously.
He didn't come because Beyonce get big behind.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted. So if you require brains, you must trade. If you hire a top lawyer, there are lawyers in Ghana, and then there are lawyers in Ghana. If you want a lawyer in Ghana, you pay.
Yes.
If you want Jay,
yes.
I just want us to establish that, because I think we've just muddled in the whole show part. The manager of Lord Kenya is now the deputy minister of tourism.
Okay, hold on right there. Please,
That's
if you want to join us,
join us. Punchline in.
Okay, finish up.
That's the former manager of Lord Kenya. He's now the deputy minister of tourism. Let that sink in. We'll come back to that conversation later.
So, well, I'm going to ask my next question, but you can join us via WhatsApp 055 1111997. 055-1111-997. Your contribution is very much welcome. Good morning to you, my brother Robert Kla, who's also tuned in. He made a point and he said that a Ghanaian recently got signed onto a deal with Tommy Hilfiger for a mural display in the UK. Yes, plugging it into the international market. Okay, so you've created a certain, let me say...
Let's break it down,
Yes, let's now break it down. Doesn't this scare any creative person who wants to now get into the music space.
Why
Because
are you,
really-
Jay?
so the
why
reality
are
is that
you
if let me finish this
pushing
question.
something into their heads.
Great. Let me finish this question. So, upon hearing this, it looks like if I sing and I'm a talent and I live in Bogoso, somewhere far off, from the capital city, the hub of, let's say, showbiz in the country, and I'm an artist and I'm hearing such conversations that this is what I'll need, to possibly see my craft become a business. Doesn't this scare anyone who's getting in there? And what are the alternatives to this?
Jay, again, let me take you back to other professional business.
Now we've mentioned lawyers.
Do you think that
Yes.
Do you think that spending 6 to 7 years in the medical school, for instance, should scare anybody that's ambitious and wants to be a doctor?
Not at all.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
but
that's the point that I'm
so
saying.
that's-
That's
so-
just to get a,
yeah,
get
so-
the-
So
like,
you
get
are
a-
going
get a
into
specialist.
medical
No, that's not
school.
even a specialist, yeah.
You made a point into
No, so
medical school,
I'm using that to.
not
I mean,
music school.
no. So I'm coming back here. So the point the more reason why I
Yeah.
use that there is that part of the reason why we are here is that the conversations of industry have been lowered for a long time. So for a lot of people that are coming into industry, because consistently the conversation has been lowered and trivialized, it forms their perceptions and creates narratives in their minds. So when they come in thinking it be boys, but it be the usual case. This explains why, for instance, in the last 2 weeks I've been in trouble with a particular talent because I sought to punch it in and say that, look, let's not allow this particular talent who is particularly seen as bigger talent to be making a certain level to be creating certain narratives. And then he reacted. But part of the problem is that because we've tolerated some of these things for so long, it creates impressions and it creates perceptions for industry, even for people that are supposed to even know better. So now going forward, if we really need to be able to do this, we need to be able to have that much needed conversation and let people understand that it's a very, very serious industry that requires a whole lot.
Isn't this
In
a
more
selfish,
matured markets,
I want to ask you,
markets,
so you can add to your points. Isn't this a selfish approach from the gatekeepers or the persons in the various, fields that without me, the lawyer, the lawyer, without me, the person who understands the A&R business, you can't make it? Isn't that the
Jay,
positioning?
Jay, no, we'll take it. But
I'm
no.
asking, yes.
Okay, well, let's.
Okay. So I'll go to legal profession.
Yes.
There's a bunch of gatekeepers in Wicks that say that only a few number of people are going to qualify as lawyers every year. It hasn't reduced, right, the quality of people that have come, neither has it dropped the hunger of the number of people that actually want to get into the law profession. I think, again, we are making, it's the same thing. So there's a very famous case, right? Case study. A friend of mine. He went into his interview. Medical students also have interviews before they're accepted into medical school. Well, at that time, and I don't know, he got his African wear, nice, all tight, went in there, and everybody else was in suits and tie, and he didn't make it he didn't get accepted into the medical program. And he was trying to kick a fuss that because he wore African wear to it. But the thing is the board that you met for the interview were looking for people beyond just how you're dressed or not. Hundreds of people qualify. They need to pick the top to be able to enter the program, because when you are underneath a doctor, it doesn't matter what he's wearing. You just want to count that the person who allowed him through has the brilliance to. And that's the system that it is. Please, let's stop making it about gatekeepers. People still get through. Yeah. We're still sitting here. They are global Ghanaian artists. Atakak is a global EDM sensation. Which can gatekeeper? Why? And let's stop that thing where we think that people that go on radio and TV do punditry and everything and talk are supposedly gatekeepers. Which can give the keep? Which of them actually has put a talent on a global platform before? It doesn't happen. Let's stop giving power to the wrong people. The people with power actually are sitting there, and all they are asking for is we want to. Twin B and his brother are heading a Def Jam label sitting in UK. It is a simple conversation, which is straight. Twin, when are we seeing a Ghanaian on the label? They will tell you stories. Why they don't have that?
Do you have an idea what these stories
I have
are?
an idea. It's not for me to tell. It's their story to tell.
What would you say? Not necessarily on their behalf, but what would
because
be
they
their
tried.
reason?
And the thing is this, because we set these low bars for people, they actually they can't see. You are like, why is it that you are in Bogo? So Patapa came from nowhere and blew up to the globe. Are you saying what? Just please let's put it in. It is possible for them to do. It doesn't matter who you are in. We have been in this country where two supposedly non-music markets, nothing acts, literally we're filling stadiums every weekend. And your favorite could have never ever. He sits in a crowd, nothing. You know if you put any number of people, paying customers in a stadium, they literally come to Accra without any major advertising and filled arenas. And yet we still are saying that we can't do it.
So who is this we when we because it is the gatekeepers who
okay. I want to put it. I think it's more of the creative industrial cabal who hog the narrative like it is. And I'm trying to tell artists today, liberate your mind. There's nobody called a gatekeeper. Like there's something I do, and you know, if you have my number, give me a shout. You're probably going to get your 5 minutes for free. But if you need me to sit with you to do business, we go do.
Yes, okay.
We are going to have that conversation, and because you see, there's a value to my time. But the moment we make it look like it's some emotive, you are sitting. No, I don't play like that. Like, yo, I got 3 girls. I need to feed them. So let's start the conversation from there. There's a show and there's a business. Okay, I've slaved 20 years to build, like somebody said, oh, that guy, 2019, where did he come from? Yeah, overnight sensation, 25 years in the making. Overnight sensation, 20. So there's something I've spent to achieve that. So when you come to the table, we're going to have a conversation. But please, let us not make it look to these talents. Like, dude, I'm in the middle of a fundraising for a business, right?
Yes.
I'm not getting any. Nobody's cutting me any slack anyway. It doesn't matter. But that is just pure business.
So I understand where you are coming from, and let me come to Sadiq on this. I understand where you are coming from. Now, I want us to look at this on the side again, be in the shoes of, and not to say I'm holding brief for Ghanaian artists or upcoming talents. Let's come and stand in their shoes for a second, where they are also entrepreneurs. I mean, they just started off. I mean, I've interviewed thousands of artists, Ghanaian artists, upcoming artists who tell you that, I set up music, just a few years ago, or there's that narrative.
We all started like that.
Yes, we all started like that. There's that narrative. Now, the thing is, you were saying they need to do all these things. Is it going to be that easy for them? And wouldn't this, I ask again, are there any alternatives, to these pointers that you are sharing that some of these artists can possibly bypass and still get things done? Because,
oh yes,
because at the end of the day, they just might
find a new job.
They just might, because there's no funding, and we're going to come into the conversation about funding. Because there's no funding, they just might sell off all their IPs, before they even start. They have to give Rudy 20%.
There's nothing wrong.
Sadiq,
There's no
20%.
Yes, there's no shortcuts. I mean, there's nothing wrong generally with selling a particular IP, right, to a more established music company that would ensure that they build that brand equity for you, step one, and then secondly, you make some money back that you can go now and bank on the brand equity that you've built. There's nothing wrong with that, really. And so. And they are not going to have it easy, just like their story is almost the same as everybody else. I mean, in tech today, all the guys that are starting up something are always going through the hustle of trying to build it, gain traction before they go and sit with investors and do all the hard numbers. And investors are not going to allow you to walk away. Woody just talked about how he's, for instance, in the middle of fundraising. Some of us have raised funds and the board would not just allow you. Obviously, your organization has changed. You are now going on a different path.
I think you should put it well. The investor.
The investor.
It not be joke for
yes,
him.
the investor.
Yes, it's a business.
I think it's like some guy, some faceless. No, it is somebody's hard-earned cash.
Yes.
Look, I've seen oil company CEOs back music people.
Yeah.
I've seen gold refinery. Why is it that when they come, they leave?
Yeah. So the point is that
boss manager, former manager, right?
NCA today.
It sits at the top at NCA. He's like a global ITU, International Telecoms Union executive.
Yeah.
That is a boss former manager. I drop these things because I want us to recognize why some people got very far and why some people didn't.
Well, why
The
should
great
people- why should
Kof
people-
Samaklo,
why
like
should
he's a
people go far
programming
and they
legend in
couldn't
this
unlock the next level?
inside multimedia. Cox was actually the marketing brain behind Lord Kenya, Asleep Music. So the same thing he was using to build Asempa. Wait, what's the talk station? It's Asempa, right?
Asempa, yeah.
Asempa, and the thing that he used to program Joy and do Best School Reunion and all of those things. That same brain was working for Lord Kenya. There's a reason why the man hasn't released song for 20 years.
Okay, so this is what must be done. What is
So-
the current state of our artists and their just for the purposes of those who probably haven't really engaged Ghanaian musicians? This is new to
you
them.
want
They
to
are
break it
hearing.
down in the various
Yes, I want to
categories,
break it down. This is new to them. They are probably asking the question. So what is the structure now in some of the camps of the artists? No names mentioned, but some of the camps of the artists that are existing, because
So-
they think these things exist.
So Jay, I mean, for me, from what I know, apart from Links Entertainment, that has a semblance of some of these units that I mentioned.
Namely,
Most of the talents that we know, from your top talent till now, do not have a semblance of most of these things. Like the various different units. They try to get by. They try to have like managers that try to do a lot more. They are supermen in a sense. So that's the structure they have. And then obviously some of them today are being signed to a lot of aggregators that do some of the works that they're supposed to do. But most of them do not have those different units that are supposed to unlock the next level for them. And so, yeah, if you're going to use, say, the Maven example, the Sony Music West Africa example, well, Sony is a major from a major level, or even the Davido example or the Wizkid example, most of them do not have too many of these people. Today, when you go to, again, even though we hate to make the comparisons or refer to Nigeria, when you go, the music industry today,
We don't hate it.
yes,
we just,
yeah,
we just get ashamed
yes,
when we make a
yeah,
reference that we could have done.
exactly. The music industry today in Nigeria, right, is basically battling with the advertising industry and other parts of the Nigeria's economy, competing with youngsters that are coming from school that are doing well. Today, a number of the young lawyers from Nigeria from school today are getting involved in tech and entertainment. I mean, the guys that study marketing, a number of them are finding themselves working for these talents. And even though you don't see them in front, they're doing some critical work. I just listed Mavens and gave you the different units of the business at Mavens that's able to ensure that Rema becomes a globally resonating talent, Ira Star becomes a globally resonating talent. Look, in fact, now they are going beyond their countries and appointing different teams in different markets to ensure that they're able to achieve it. Joe Boy was in Ghana when he dropped the new song that's attracting a lot of streams. And I keep saying to everybody that when you see a particular song from any country that earns streams in your country, it is no fluke. The amount of work that has gone behind it, you have no idea. He was in Ghana when he dropped the alcohol song.
yeah,
He dropped it, I think, 2 or 3 days after Darko Vice drops Jemapel.
yeah.
Jemapel, fantastic songs. Go back again and do the numbers and then let it simmer down. Wait 5 weeks from today and again do the numbers. But when Joe Boy landed in Ghana, he engaged most of the TikTok influencers that he engaged and sat with to try to strategize to give him a certain level of leverage, traction in Ghana. A lot of the talents here haven't actually even thought about them. They didn't actually even know they exist. Beyond that as well, he sat with a lot of tastemakers in the industry. He did the media rounds. He did all of the things on the sound. Today, when he puts it out and he's earning all those streams in your country, there's a lot of work that has gone to ensure that he's able to do these things.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying that. So coming back to the structure.
Yeah.
Until most of them will have some of this structure and regard, like Rudy is saying, regard it as a business,
Yeah.
right? To ensure that, because when we talk about it, the whole investment thing for some at a certain level, it has to do with the attitude of the creative,
Of the
Ghanaian
creative, yes.
So you see, I've heard a bigger talent that says that I am rich, I've got all the money, but for me to put in the initial money to create the traction, that will bring in the bigger label or the bigger investment. No, I won't do it. I'll go and use my money to buy
Okay,
land.
so Sadiq,
who
hold
make you
on.
can't do that investment for
Hold
you?
on there. Now, how I wish I had creative people. You guys have moved from creative into business, from show into business. So I don't even want to ask you this question.
And
so I understand.
because
I
I'm
understand your
creative
defense, but hold on.
Actually,
Let me just announce this.
For you.
Okay, let me announce.
All of us sitting in this room. Nobody actually plays on the other side than this guy.
Okay, oh, I'm coming. So please, if you just tuned in, we are talking about, well, Rudy says we shouldn't use the word plug-in, but just for the purposes of, our understanding here, we are trying to connect our music to the international markets, and the question why we haven't been able to do that, even if we are doing it, we want more, we want to be greedy and want more. So that's the conversation we are having here, understanding the problems and the challenges. Rudy rightly stated earlier on that we are already plugged in. Just as equal as everyone. We are trying to drill down. I'm coming there. But please, you can join us via WhatsApp on 055 997. That's 055 997. I'd love to hear from you. We're also live on our social media platforms, Facebook, Joy Prime, and Joy FM. We'd love to hear from you. Okay. So, gracefully speaking, on the part of the people who have the know-how, and we have painted a very good image about how these creative talents are not tapping into some of the technical know-how of persons, of example of persons like you who are well versed in the industry, as well as different professions. Great. How about the responsibility, or what is the failing part of these people to these creative talents as well?
Okay, Jay. And I'm going to use
because the artists are pleading for support. I'll read off a quick post from King Promise that I caught up yesterday. Just permits me to just find it. It was posted by Starbuzz. Good afternoon to you, coaches, who's also doing a great job from wherever he finds himself. Let me see if I.
Shout out to coaches.
Yes, coaches.
Yeah,
they
don't get enough love for actually keeping it alive for more than a decade.
Yes. So this is the message from King Promise. He says, we can only make impact globally as Ghanaians if we all support the movement. He went on to say, bro, you don't have to know me. It doesn't even have to be a 5-star. Support Skiddy, support Kwesi. He listed all some of the artists on there. He says, it go over the world easily when we do that. Support is the cheat code. Now, these artists are asking for support from persons like you.
Yeah.
Are we giving them?
Okay. Here's the thing. It's not for us to give. You see, again, Jay, I will battle you on this thing because I didn't come here for us to apportion blame on one side or the other. I said that all of us have a collective contribution that we need to make, which we all agree. If we all agree, then it's not about me giving them, because see, one thing I don't do is nobody's entitled to my time. I will give you my time, and I'll use you as a case study. Since I've known you, you probably managed.
I beg.
No. No. You've probably managed, 10, 12 acts. These are the ones I knew because we spoke about them. From SA, Kenya, London. These are just 3 places that you and I have met when you were on talent work.
Yes.
The things we've done as business people, that's different. You've handled from fresh unknowns to some that have gone on to become global sensations. I'm gonna ask you though.
I'm asking the questions.
No, you do, but I'm asking the world. Why is Jay Foley not on any talents roster as at this moment? Because the truth is, it has to make business sense. There's a value to your time. As soon as you went off talent work, you've dropped Leak, the most creative audio content ever released in this market. And I'm an audio person, so when I say that...
Okay, yeah, Rudy,
and you know what? And guys, listen. Jay Foley is a one-man production army.
Yes, I have my
He writes voices, edits. Like, there's only one other guy like him, and that's me.
Where you are positioning me, and I know making my point very difficult to
relax. I'm coming to a point.
I refuse.
And
I refuse the
visible opportunity is I don't even have the space to do it. So every day I'm amazed at it, and I'll call him at midnight. We'll be having a clubhouse at 1 a.m. listening to Lead. And it's like, Charlie, make we chop here and do them.
I refuse the hype.
The point I was trying to get to is this. It is not for lack of dedication. Okay, Leaked could have been the chronicles of an artist that you were handling or doing business with that would have seen it, that you can flip it and come to Rudy and say, Charlie, where's the commercial point in there? And would have found a brand to actually leverage on it to go. But it's not happening a lot. So all of us are going
in ways that we both can feed both our families. So it's not like the artist is asking. It is not enough for them to ask. Promise, beautiful write-up, and I love where it came from. I feel that it came from his heart. But bro, it ain't enough. Because you got Sadiq's number, you've got Jay's number. You could have called us out and say, let's have dinner and say, guys, we're sitting in this room, December. Really, are you doing Afro Nation? Maybe not. If you're not, what are we doing? What if I put 10 of us together and we shake Ghana? This is internal. Nobody's making that call. You know why? Because if I make that call, I have to satisfy everybody and their grandmother before I can satisfy myself. So where is it in, it's always great to have all these niceties and talk all these ideals.
But there's a reality.
But there's a reality to these things. And until we attack those realities, you and I are not going to move forward. Brilliant, brother. Listen, I think it was 2018, right? Yeah. We did some business with Promise. I love it. And I'm so happy that I wake up and then 2 years later, the brand is so entrenched in it. And they are doing business beyond the business that we did. But you know what makes me happy? Because I stood in a room and I said that you guys will be amiss if you don't make us put Cream Promise on your show. And I went on to make a number of cases and say, I don't care who you think you want, but I think this guy is brilliant because and there's nothing that he wouldn't do with your brand. 24 months later, they are doing business. I'm happy. This happened when he wasn't in the room, so it's not like we can't do it. He didn't know. He was in America at that time when I actually didn't even think he was going to make it for the show. It was like after I had done that, I was like, okay, this guy, maybe he won't even fly back the time I wanted. And I got the assurance that I'm going to come. But what I'm alluding to is the thing that you're saying that they're asking for help, they're not getting. It's a simple conversation of all of us sitting on the table and having the respect enough. There's also a certain disrespect and disdain the show people have for the business people.
Or other people in the value chain.
The show people, the
I
talent.
was coming to ask.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Have a little, like a disdain, like almost like they smart pass you, the business people. And if the show and the business they don't like come together, there's nothing that could be happening. What business has shown is we will always make money around you and without you. Have you realized that? All of your manager friends, all of you that were handling talents that are not there, which of you they beg for road for money?
Almost none.
None. Because you've learned that there's other ways to make money. But here's the loss to the show part. You've taken all of that IP, all of those rooms. I mean, look, Jay Foley has signed wait, what's the size of that Coke contract we signed? Like, what, 20 pages? Like, we went through, like, line, but he and I sat, like, 2 days. We went through line by line.
I bet.
And it was like, I needed to understand this thing.
And if I remind you,
this
the
learning.
NDAs.
Listen.
NDA for kicking.
Oh, he passed. This one 4 years. Listen, but the thing is this was a learning that you had gotten. So your next universal contract, when it comes and it's 60 pages, it's nothing to you because you've learned. But this is the thing, you're not working with any artist. Why? If there's nobody is entitled to your time. Everybody is entitled to you both sitting down and making money together. Before the president, executive secretary of the president, Nana Asante Bediye, while ago, rest in peace, Fennec, we're sitting in his living room having a conversation. And he was advising. He says, "Look, I did the mechanical rights for Bob Marley's, the Marley family. He did that in London, and the contract was 60 pages.
Wow.
So we brought the contract to him to look, and he's like, wait, this is not a contract. This is like 5 pages. I said, we're in your contract. The terms are not all. 60 pages. It took them 3 months to actually assemble every single scenario together. And the funny part, that man was actually advising a lot of talents for free with his time. I mean, not now, he's busy. But he had, because he worked, his law firm did that IP work. If you went to him, he wasn't billing you $500 an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know his fee. I'm just positing. But you would have gotten, we used to get free time. Like, you just, come through. Let's have a conversation. Oh, no, this one, no, this is what you need to. But when it comes to contract, I can't touch it for you. You would have to go here. I'll point you to somebody that will do it. Just come and discuss the terms with me. these are all the people that still have love for the
For
system.
the system.
But the show people,
Okay.
the show people think the business people are out to get them. The business people think the show people are not serious. So how do we build a complex?
Funding was going to be my third point.
Yeah, there's no funding if the two know the
yes.
talk.
So, but in between the funding is product, and that's what I also now want to touch on with you, Sadiq. I have an idea of what you just might say to this, but I will push you to the wall, and I'll speak.
I'll say something favorable.
I'll speak hard on behalf of the artist because I don't have representation of an artist in here. So the Ghanaian music as a product, has it been well packaged in terms of content, the lyrical content, in terms of the final output, all that quality?
Well, I mean,
is it ready?
Well, I think that there are some very exceptional examples, but obviously we can do better with regards to it. I'm seeing a lot of the talents go through the difficulty of consistently trying to write songs again and again, whereas they could, depend on others to write. But then again, when you speak to them, most of them will also tell you that, Charlie, the availability, even when they have the money to have these top-notch songwriters, is not there. But anyway, there are some exceptional examples today that we can point to, particularly if you're talking about the music formats from Africa that is gaining grounds, an Afrobeat, high life. There are some very, very exceptional examples, and you can point
high
to
life
songs
gaining grounds?
Afrobeat generally is, but even today the Afrobeat or the high life has been touched and varied so much that we don't have any option but to call it Afrobeat.
I will come to this high life conversation.
Yeah, what is
but
gaining
continue.
grounds? In terms of what is gaining grounds now, there are some very, very exceptional examples that you can point to and say, well, King Promise is one of them. King Promise consistently goes on to give us some very, very fantastic songs. R2B's Fine Wine is a fantastic song. J. Mapel is a fantastic song. But when we go back to everything that was said here, if that business process that unlocks the activation strategy behind it is not... 2 days ago, I was looking at Fine Wine. When it came out, I was one of the first people that said that this song, Charlie, fantastic. This song, they could do well in this market. And I look at some of the streams and the sport, and I was like, whoa, why? So I spoke to the manager. I was like, Ike, what are you going on? What's happening? It's like, Charlie, it's plenty problems. It's plenty issues. So, in terms of the product, we've got some very, very nice, good products, well produced, well written. There are exceptional examples that where that superior strategy kicks in, it will take it further than it is today. So there are some suffice to say that today, as much as there are some issues with the production, I think that it's something they are figuring it out one way or the other, particularly because there's an over-fixation of it, and exposure is getting them to begin to figure out how to produce that top-notch song, how to master it, how to get it out there.
So let me give you a classic example of a fine product. Sarkodie's album, No Pressure, recently. It's a fine product.
Yes, it is.
He seemed to have taken upon the strategy that we've highlighted in
exactly.
Here. We've ticked the boxes. I know he's part of the people that he engages, on conversations on business. Quite, influential persons in business.
Yeah, right.
He adopted a strategy of not sitting in Ghana, but moving out there.
Right.
Now, if some other non-Ghanaian artists had done the same thing, the impact would have been tremendous or felt.
Yes.
I don't want to mention too many names of.
But you see the impact exactly.
So
you see.
So all the reactions. Now I'm coming back to ask well, I don't know about the analytics there. But I'm just talking on street language here, so you might want to help me in there. So I'm just asking that, is it the products that we're churning out that has question marks around it, or I don't even know what to associate it with?
Dear Ghanaian creative,
yes,
your product is very fine. I would differ a little bit with what Sadiq said. The product.
That was being nice.
Please don't be nice. The product is fine. Look, Japanese has a strategy of continuous improvement of what you do. Some of the mixes were very bad, but let's not forget, when you take back Lumba, Daughters of Gloria Jesus, the songs that Bodo Stega mixed and mastered, we've always had quality.
The fact that it was Bodo was neither there or not, here or there. If you hear the kick, you know, and Jay, I'll tell you a little story. If you take Lord Kenya's Enyomno, right? Please load that song. Enyomno Lord Kenya. When you hear how the kick is, so I had a conversation with Cox.
Wobete, I think you should prepare that song.
Prepare that song, please. And I want the beginning of it, right? I was like, okay, why was it like that? Cox is a fan of what's his name, Teddy Riley, and listen to every Teddy Riley song. The kick behind it, that was what. So their brief to what's his name? Zap was, yo. And Zap just literally went to town. And that album, listen to every single song and the kick.
The song title again, Lord Kenya.
Enyom, boom, 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 boom. Just hear the kick out of it. The product is fine. The product has an era and a time. Look, have you gone back to listen to OP Square song? They are rubbish. They're rubbish from a production perspective. It didn't matter, but they were the standard at that time. We are also continuing. If I listen to Nowhere Cool, Manifest is Nowhere Cool, end to end, probably one of the best productions ever. Listen to how the whole thing was put together, mixed and mastered. The product is not the problem, bro. Let's again, Jay. I don't subscribe to those things. And you're good. Nah, you lie bad. We're suffering a marketing problem. We're suffering a positioning problem. We're suffering actionable actions that will take us to our goals problem. You asked about Sarkodie's thing and say, okay, if another person had done it, well, please, if Sarkodie will open his back end and check his Spotify streams, I can bet my bottom dollar, you and I, that he's seen massive improvements in Kenya, he's seen massive improvements in Joburg, and he's seen massive improvements in Nigeria. It goes to say. So I happened to chance upon Sefa's backend, D-Black. I was with D-Black, and he had just opened his Spotify streams. And I immediately, what jumped out to me was the streams they are getting in SA, in Joburg. Like, Joburg is actually the second highest city after Accra in her streams, in Ichok. And it was simple because he had put boots on the ground in those markets.
They actually went to activate.
And they went to activate. Johannesburg is the second city in Cephas Ichok after Accra because she was on the ground to activate. So it just tells you. But when you get to listen,
let me kick in.
The recent Ghana party in a park.
Yeah.
Let's check the streams for that month for all the artists that were there. It will tell you who worked and who didn't work. We'll see a blip in changes in the numbers.
And Foley, let me kick in something. I've been using the Sarkodie example as a way that you can actually be measured and you will see some difference. So over time, there's certain things that builds up over time that continues to assert your brand equity and makes you bankable. So I understand. I mean, Sarkodie is the kind of album, it's in a deal with Ziki Media. He's gone on to do the activation, and Woody is right that whereas in previous times maybe he may experience very low streaming numbers from these markets that he went to, today maybe he may be seeing some appreciation on that. But generally over time, you would come to realize that for him to have been able to do the Ziki Media deal or any other possible deals, there are certain things that can be considered, including the total streams that he's probably gotten on YouTube or Spotify over time. So maybe anybody that does any analysis today wants to rush home and say, oh, well, but he went to these countries and didn't come to anything. You may be getting it wrong because you're looking at just today. It may take some time, but these are numbers that over time will continue to assert his top of mind, continue to accept his position in the market, and continue to make him, possibly bankable. Because yes, today, I understand there are some aggregator deals that even before you go and even just signing on, not for you to gain an advance, you've got to get more than, say, 12 million, a total of 12 million or 50 million YouTube streams. Or, there's a certain threshold as well for maybe Spotify, Apple Music, or Boomplay. So these things may kick in over time. But it should tell you something that over time, for all the things that he's been able to do, and I'm sure with sitting with all these new guys, Jay and Co and stuff like that, there are certain possibilities that they are seeing for which reason they are going the extra mile to do these activations. And I cited it because promotion is a bigger problem here. There was a particular point when I wrote about it and I said, look, we need to highlight the fact that this is about the first time in recent times that a major act, Shadowwell, save apart from, Stonebwoy also does that sometimes, that has decided to actively go into some of the biggest markets in Africa to activate.
Okay.
Because that is what every time when you accuse all these other
Yeah.
guys from the markets that we hate to admit are doing well, right? That's what they do. They come in to activate, they go to these other countries. They've got a strategy for each and every country. Every market. And yes, there are sounds that will do well in certain market. When you have the kind of kiddie songs, the kiddie song that he did, Kwame Eugene's Bunker, it's almost similar to the bongo flavor sound that's predominant in Tanzania, in Uganda, and some parts of Kenya. Kenya, there's a variation they call gengeton, for instance. And so that sound, right, may resonate well with the Kenyans. So I'm not surprised that Touch It, for instance, did well in East Africa and Kenya. But guess what Richie and the team did? Once they realized I was doing well, they stepped into Kenya.
Oh, September.
They stepped into Kenya to activate it.
Yeah.
Spent money activating, doing the media, putting up a show. All those things are geared at a certain bottom line. And that is what I'm drawing everybody's attention to, that we've gotten to the point where, yes, we are plugged into the system, but the songs
Discovery.
on these platforms do not move on its own. You've got to activate it. You've got to initiate people's, develop, instigate people's taste in it. So I understand Kim
Yes.
Promise's concern. Yes, we need to support. Yes, we need to amplify most of what they are doing. But there's something we need to understand. There's a reason why Rema,
Yeah.
right, or Joe Boy, who doesn't have any recognizable fan army in this country, is getting more streams for your country than some of the names that have recognizable fan army. And that comes to the intentional, deliberate strategies that are
These are
taken.
brilliant.
And just
Yes.
last line. Let's not forget, Mr. Easy, Patoranking, they launched their careers from this Accra town and went to the
Brilliant.
world. So don't tell me ever.
So this is a
That
point.
is- it's
This
not
is another
possible.
point I want to come to. We can be excited about all these technicalities, but also let's raise a certain narrative about language. And we're going to talk after language. We're going to dovetail into the high life music as the genre as a brand on its own, whether it is sellable or not. Okay, so let's talk about language. In recent times, we can all bear witness to how the Nigerian pidgin language has become of great interest to some countries, and we see examples. Comedy, for example. I mean, a Nigerian comedian stands on stage, and you see a lot of, and I say this on authority because I've seen it, a lot of Ghanaians laugh. And I've seen a lot of Ghanaians as well copy the Nigerian accent, both in music and in regular conversations.
Regular.
Yes, so it has become a trend. Is this also, can we possibly say that the Nigerian accent has become a lovable, acceptable way of communicating across Africa to make it easier for them to sell? I'm just asking.
DAJ.
Yes.
Again, as soon as you started this question, something hit me. And I was like, okay, this is actually our problem.
Yeah.
We
Finding
pay too
excuses
much attention
too many.
to what is supposed to be a problem than what the opportunity is. I have a certain rule. I don't believe, and I look to nature and I look to Bible and I look to whatever for it, right? It's a simple thing. There's nothing lost in any encounter I have. It's either a blessing or a lesson. A lesson makes me better. A blessing propels me forward. So which means nothing at all. So there's nothing like this thing bad happened to me. No. You learn from it. It's the same thing. If, and I'll tell you this, there's probably no country in Africa can position right with their tongue and adapt that language that you think has become the toast of the world than Ghanaians. Because it's already happening. My generation, I don't know what happened after me, but my generation went through secondary school speaking Pidgin. We had various forms of it, but we have our language. It was so close borderline to, and I realized that some of the etymology of some of the words actually were Nigerian. So which means that supposedly 200 million market they have, we go fit enter some, and nothing go happen. That's the opportunity.
But as soon as we always recognize things as problems,
this thing
you will move. When BBC Pidgin puts out news items, the most viral content actually we've seen, some of the most viral, and my digital agency put out something, some of the most viral content that we've seen actually came from BBC Pidgin's reporting.
Yeah.
Why do you think they set it up for Nigerians? They realize that it's actually it's a West African thing.
Yeah, but would you agree on the kind of pidgin they speak?
Jay, do you understand the kind of pidgin they speak?
Yes,
that's all.
Yes.
Then I think that is all that should matter.
But would you agree there's a Ghanaian pidgin and a Nigerian pidgin?
Jay,
would you agree to that?
Again, we are.
No, I do understand, but would we agree there's a Ghanaian pidgin and a Nigerian pidgin?
There are marked differences. Okay? The pidgin we speak in Cape Coast is not the same as the Accra pidgin is totally different from Kumasi pidgin. Accra,
yes.
I grew up in Kumasi. I went to school in Cape Coast. I live in Accra. There are clear differences when I'm speaking at certain spaces to this to me. It doesn't change it that it's all in one space. And that's why I'm saying I am choosing not to recognize the differences, and I'm recognizing the opportunities inherent in them. Because it looks like Ghanaian creatives spend massive amount of hours just picking at problems and staring at the opportunities in the face and not doing anything about it. For me, it's an opening, which means that Lexi the comic, wasn't it Obi that went to Lagos and shut it down with, what's his name?
Yeah, basketball.
Good. Which means if you put Lexi, you put Obi, you put whatever, you put basket mouth, everybody go laugh at that same time. This is something that differentiates us from the fact the East Africans wish they could tap into that. The funny thing is they have a single language. We don't.
That's right.
You realize that they have a single language.
I'm loving this. Just hold on one second.
And yet they want what we have.
For those of us who are watching us live on Joy Prime, you all, anyways, we have to be signed out on here, but we're still live on Joy 99.7 FM. Hope you've enjoyed the conversations. Our streams are still running. You can still catch us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the conversation here. My name is Jay Foley. But anyway, so to those of you who are still living with us on Joy FM, our conversation is about, in quote, plugging our music on the platform. Sadiq, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll still continue this narrative on the language.
Yeah, please.
Yes, on the language.
Yes,
the language, and then back to the high life as a product and how we can market it. And then we'll look at why the very rich corporate bodies have decided not to be fully engaged in the business.
They know what to do with their money. Please, let me say it
Which when we get there. Quick break. When we come back, there's more to have a conversation on. Don't go away.
Oh, man.
What have I done?
Everywhere you turn, there's a mother, a father, a sister, or a brother who has been affected by breast cancer.
No one is immune to breast cancer, neither old nor young, rich or poor, weak or strong.
Hope is the bridge that connects cancer and recovery. Don't give up your courage to fight.
Fighting breast cancer takes everyone. One team, one dream. Let's find a cure.
It's real. It's not a myth. 1 in 8 women and 1 in 1,000 men will develop breast cancer at some point in their lives.
Get screened. Early detection saves lives. Check often and encourage those you love to do same.
Knowing it exists isn't enough. Get informed. Pass it on.
Exercise is also beneficial to breast cancer survivors.
Pink is stronger than you think. Join the hashtag Pink October. It's a Pink October on the Cosmopolitan Mix on your superstation, Joy 99.7 FM.
It's a new day.
All it takes is one bad event to affect the things that are of value to you. That home you've built, the business that was bred from years of your hard work, or even that dream car that you finally call your own. But with one bank, you can conveniently protect your properties against future financial losses. So be rest assured knowing your properties are protected under Cowbank motto, homeowners and SME insurance policies. Always stay one step ahead with Cowbank. For more information, call us toll-free on 0800 500 500. You can also visit any of our branches or agents near you to sign up. Take that one right decision today and insure while you bank. Underwritten by Saham Insurers, a member of the Salam Group.
Cowbank, forward together.
Cowbank, forward together. The night you have been waiting for is here. The Salt and Light Music Ministry and your favorite choir, the Harmonious Chorale Ghana, present Records Night, bringing you your favorite choral and classical hits from back in the day, reminiscing the tunes you loved most. Theme: Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. Psalm 90 verse 1. This will be a live virtual concert streaming on Harmonious Chorale YouTube channel on Sunday, 24th October 2021. Time 1800 GMT. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Harmonious Chorale Ghana to join and relive the golden moments and the olden days.
Everywhere you turn, there's a mother, a father, a sister, or a brother who has been affected by breast cancer.
No one is immune to breast cancer, neither old nor young, rich or poor, weak or strong.
Hope is the bridge that connects cancer and recovery. Don't give up your courage to fight.
Fighting breast cancer takes everyone. One team, one dream. Let's find a cure.
It's real. It's not a myth. 1 in 8 women and 1 in 1,000 men will develop breast cancer at some point in their lives.
Get screened. Early detection saves lives. Check often and encourage those you love to do same.
Knowing it exists isn't enough. Get informed. Pass it on.
Exercise is also beneficial to breast cancer survivors.
Pink is stronger than you think. Join the hashtag Pink October. It's a Pink October on the Cosmopolitan Mix on your superstation, Joy 99.7 FM.
Precious one, I'm Bishop Charles Ajinasari. I'm coming to this 10th anniversary of the Pastors Kids Conference. Beloved, Pastors Kids are very special. They are a unique class of people because their parents are called and their parents are separated unto God to work for Him. There are many challenges that Pastors Kids go through by virtue of whose children they are. I'm glad to announce to you that I will be the main speaker, speaking on the Father's blessing and to pronounce a blessing on anybody who is a minister's child, a child of an apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, teacher, an elder, deacon, deaconess. You are invited. Join me on the 23rd of October from 9 a.m. at the Perez Dome. Your life will never be the same.
Host and convener, Reverend Francis Ajinasari. This program is non-denominational. To register, call +233 5500 68632. Powered by Precious TV.
If we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change.
Winning strategies, nuggets of wisdom, unforgettable stories, all in one inspirational hour. Springboard your virtual university with Albert and Comfort Okran and guests.
Planning is bringing the future into the present.
A job is for the salaries, mundane, survival oriented, and there's no passion. But a career has fulfillment, innovation, drive. A growth path is clear, and you can build step by step all the way to the top.
Matriculate at 7 p.m. and graduate at 8 p.m. every Sunday on Joy 99.7 FM and live on Facebook. Springboard is brought to you by Legacy and Legacy and Joy 99.7 FM and proudly sponsored by MTN, Enterprise Group, UMB Bank, and Axis Pension Trust with support from the graphic business.
Everywhere you turn, there's a mother, a father, a sister, or a brother who has been affected by breast cancer.
No one is immune to breast cancer, neither old nor young, rich or poor, weak or strong.
Hope is the bridge that connects cancer and recovery. Don't give up your courage to fight.
Fighting breast cancer takes everyone. One team, one dream. Let's find a cure.
It's real. It's not a myth. 1 in 8 women and 1 in 1,000 men will develop breast cancer at some point in their lives.
Get screened. Early detection saves lives. Check often and encourage those you love to do same.
Knowing it exists isn't enough. Get informed. Pass it on.
Exercise is also beneficial to breast cancer survivors.
Pink is stronger than you think. Join the hashtag Pink October. It's a Pink October on the Cosmopolitan Mix on your superstation, Joy 99.7 FM.
You don't have to wait in a queue to watch a movie. You stream at home. You don't have to fight the crowds. You buy exactly what you want online and get it delivered to your doorstep. What you want comes to you when you want. It's time your banking did the same. Meet Abby, your 24/7 digital personal banker from ABSA, here to do your banking for you. Abby's a fast learner. The more you chat, the better your banking experience gets. So, if you're an ABSA customer, whether it's making enquiries, paying a friend, buying airtime, or checking your balance, just ask Abby to do it for you. Add Abby on WhatsApp 050-164-4644. Bank safely with Abby on WhatsApp, another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA. Terms and conditions apply. Visit absa.com.gh.
The night you have been waiting for is here. The Salt and Light Music Ministry and your favorite choir, the Harmonious Chorale Ghana, present Records Night, bringing you your favorite choral and classical hits from back in the day, reminiscing the tunes you loved most. Theme: Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. Psalm 90 verse 1. This will be a live virtual concert streaming on Harmonious Chorale YouTube channel on Sunday, 24th October 2021. Time 1800 GMT. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Harmonious Chorale Ghana to join and relive the golden moments and the olden days.
We lead, others follow. This is Joy 99.7 FM.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Siso, a bosso, and Munidati, Moncoso. Many people on Costo was on Gosso. More than yet, what's it? Moncoso, man, you are so. Mananidi, I rub on my soul. You say, me a boss with no floss. It's me winning toss. We are done it because I make it happen. I'm the boss. Would you make you Uber Bolo? Tell it, make a tell it. This for you. I rub a dross. I catch it from we are caught on now. Papa Naba, so please, I beg you. So pause. In fact, in the best saying, Chawala, I trust. Jai, see, men get it. What we found to me. I do my homie. You made that coupe and over the home. But some me, ask your homie. Yeah, Showbiz A to Z. Basic of video singer, all the rap musician, what the rapper singer. So look at me and bring up. I saw we never were my company. Now that you're so fun, come pain, do for money. One put up on the preaching call. Don't focus step. Minimum net ya bo. A mudo call stars to go. I saw
Showbiz A to Z.
And you put your go.
Yes, and I'm listening to the song again now, and I think Uri has now gotten me to listen to the song again. And when you talk about rhythm, I mean, look, yes, it's not even about language anymore. I think that this rhythm would just sell out at any place if it's to stand on stage and perform. You definitely would agree with me. Anyway, we'll just continue our conversations shortly. But the world of business changes rapidly, but you can stay ahead of the curve. Receive all the breaking business news and news stories behind the numbers straight on your MTN or Airtel Tigo device, daily or monthly. Just simply go to myjoyonline.com and click on the blue notification bell and subscribe now. Get all the facts and figures and stories from the world of business wherever you are, direct to your mobile device. Real news delivered to you. Charges apply. Now, the night you've been waiting for is also here, the Salt and Light Music Ministry and your favorite choir, the Harmonious Chorale Ghana, presents Records Night. Now, bringing you your favorite choral and classical hits from back in the day, reminiscing the tunes you loved most. Well, the theme is, Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. Psalm 90, verse 1. Now, this will be live virtual. This will be a live virtual concert streaming on Harmonious Choral YouTube channel. And this is happening on Sunday, 24th of October, 2021. The time is 6 p.m. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel to join and relive the golden moments of the olden days. For further information, just call 0268 130 615 or 0243 588 467 or 0302 772 013. Again, 0268 130 615 or 0243 588 467 or 0302 772 013. And just imagine listening to good music from your favorite artists. Now, MTN Caller Rainback Tone catalogs over 16,000 songs ranging from top songs in all genres: hip life, high life, gospel, reggae, R&B, hip hop, plus 2,000 different artists from Ghana and beyond. Now, let me run through these top 5 artists. No, these artists who are on top 5 songs on Caller Tunes this week. Now, all of them starts with a star 1355 star. But if you want King Promises slow down, just dial star 1355 star 226 hash. For Kwame Eugene, just add 142 hash. For Joe Metal, it's 140 hash. For Familia, it's 155 hash. And for Mr. Drew's Mood, if you want it, star 1355 star 26 hash. Enjoy soothing music whilst you wait to be connected to all that important call. Just dial star 1355 hash now and follow the menu for details. MTN, everywhere you go. And don't forget, Joy News and Multimedia Group are supported by Toyota Ghana Limited. Toyota, superior quality. Avoid all distractions. Now keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. Be visible. Drive with your lights on. And that's how to ensure you arrive safe. And this is our Drive Safe campaign, proudly brought to you by Joy News and the Multimedia Group. And also DSTV giving you 10 reasons why you should subscribe. Right in the 10th month of the year. Season 2 of Sankofa is on Aquaba Magic, exclusive Europa and Conference League matches on Super Sports, the new season of Real Housewives, the unbeatable DSTV app, fresh box office movies every week, DSTV catch-up. Premium subscribers get Showmax added for free as well. Compact and Compact Plus subscribers get Showmax for 50%, captivating and educational kids content on there. And finally, all the EPL, La Liga, Serie A games you can watch. So buy a DSTV decoder with installation and 1 month access at 169 Ghana cedis, or you can upgrade to Compact for an additional 108 Ghana cedis. Just SMS 1731. Get all the facts. DSTV, this is your moment. And quick reminder, on the 12th edition of the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair, powered by Plan City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats. Now, the Accra International Conference Center kicking off on Wednesday 27th to Sunday 31st October from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Answering that question for you: home ownership, to build or to buy? Just follow the social media platforms, hashtag Joy Habitat Fair. Now, if you want to make any inquiry, just call 0546 908179, 908179 or 0540 110 389. Partly brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, the Plan City Extension Project, cities from Cities and Habitats, Rent to Own, is sponsored by Elegant Homes, DBS Industrial Limited, Europlus, Renters Paradise, Gold Key Properties, and brought to you by EcoBank as well. We'll be getting back into our conversation shortly, but the night you've been waiting for is finally here. The Salt and Light Music Ministry and your favorite choir, the Harmonious Choral Ghana, present Record Nights. I'm reminding you again, just subscribe to Harmonious Choral Ghana's YouTube channel and relive those golden moments again. It's Sunday, 24th of October at 6 p.m. prompt. Okay. So 055 1111997 055 Later on, we'll open the phone lines in just about 13 minutes from now. Quick reminder on our conversations this morning. So we are talking about how we can gain some traction in the global space, just as somehow some other countries are doing it brilliantly. We are already doing it, but we want more. Question is, what is stopping us? We've already discussed the DNA, what constitutes the fabric of our Ghanaian artistry and their management teams. Now we're talking also about the possibility of language, where my panelists in here partly disagree with me. They are not going to look at language at all, but I'm still pushing them to the point where I want to see that the certain level of the pidgin language is liked. But anyway, so I'm here with Sadiq, Abdullah Abu, and Rudy Kwache as well. We're having a great conversation so far, but let me just get back to them. So Sadiq, we're having a conversation earlier on about the language, and I'm still pushing that point, for us, that yes, the Nigerian pidgin language seems to be far acceptable or accepted or widely spoken in most parts of Africa. Maybe, and I stand to be corrected, and maybe as well right here in Ghana, it has, based on that, we realize that even in our music, we hardly sing in our pidgin language. However, we hear the adaptation of the accent of the Nigerian pidgin. Could that be an influence, for their surge, in their music as well? This is the conversation we're having. Let me get your microphones on. Sorry. Yes.
You're saying so also because they've managed to activate their music and popularize it here, and they seem to be about a number of their songs infiltrating and making the numbers here. That's what's creating that impression for you. But these same Nigerians will tell you, particularly sometimes when they need to attract the attention of Ghanaians, aren't they the ones singing about Abina, Banku, Shito, and all of those things in their songs as a way of getting our attention? So yes, language is important in creating a globally resonating sound or music. But with the point we've been making all this while is that regardless of the language, or regardless of whether you want to sing in the pidgin language or you want to sing in your pidgin, without that superior activation strategy, the song would not go. Heck, Hausa is actually also widely spoken in West Africa. How come you're not getting more popularized West African artists whose songs is done in Hausa? VIP drops Hausa, but they are three songs, so their pidgin songs are more or widely accepted even than the Hausa. So yes, language is very important. Language, once you have a particular language that's understood by all, example, touch it. I'm sure part of what has made it easier for those Indians that are singing to it to jump on the trend and the challenges, because it's touch it and bend over. It's English. So yes, language is good, but he's getting all those numbers not because he sang a pidgin that can be tagged as a unique Nigerian what's it called, pidgin. But the point we can make is that, and like we said, our guys do not have a lot of problems with the sound and how it's packaged for whatever language that they are doing it in. It's always been the issue of the business marketing in the approach.
But aren't these all activations? The language, and I'm coming back to it again because I feel
part
we are
of packaging the product.
Yes, isn't it an activation as well? As in something that they have actually, they've been riding on that wave to penetrate, because it's a language, and once it's spoken, isn't that easy?
Yes, they have been doing that. And that's why I cited the example of the fact that when they needed to, at a point in time when it became a focal point for other parts of Africa and the world, where you needed to get it, because Ghana has a certain unique situation. Our situation, unlike the Nigeria one, is such that, unlike before, if we needed to get attention of the diaspora or Africans in the diaspora, you needed to be vested there, where you need to go to US, go to all these places to activate. But now, because of a growing development where those in the diaspora keep looking back home to consume the content back home, and in fact, if you look at your Twitter, what you typically call the Ghana Twitter, there are a number of those people on the Ghana Twitter who are Ghanaians, but who are not primarily here. They may have gone to school with you and everything, but they're somewhere abroad in any of the countries. But they could relate to every content that's coming here. And in fact, all the things that they consume is here. And so everything that blows out here and becomes on trend automatically blows out there. At a certain point in time, we had that in the ways that they didn't have. And that explains why they will need to sometimes come in here to get that faster blow effect so that it can go into the diaspora. And this was a point in time as well where the Ghanaians were taste makers until again we lost it out to them in the diaspora. So yes, they could use that, and that explains why they were saying Ghana girl says she won't marry me. You. He sings about watch, he sings about shit, sings about all those things that connects you to the music. So yeah, the language is important. Singing in a more widely accepted language is also ideal. We've seen some of their gospel talent. What's the guy's name? Dunsin Oyekan. Fire to Fragrance. It's fire. No. I'm sure the real reason why people are able to relate to it is because of language. But then again, there are other songs like Igwe and Co that were sung in Igbo and other places, but people move to the melodies. Because yes, there are some music consumers that move to the melodies. There are some music consumers that move to the sound. There are some music consumers that move to the art of the music, particularly when it's elevated. So there are different factors. The language is important. We cannot set it aside. But the point we've been making all these while is that whether you have a fantastic song that takes the boxes in terms of language, the on-trend sound, the production, and all of those things, when it's pushed out there or plugged into the system like we've been talking about, once it's sitting down there, it won't move on its own. It has to be activated. It has to be a conscious attempt to ensuring that people in the different markets that are important to you, right, develop a taste for your music. You get what I'm saying? So that's the point that I mean I can make.
Let me ask both of you this question, and then let me find out what your opinion would be. Why? So Ladipo was in Ghana recently.
Right.
Joe Boy has been to Ghana. I think around the same time when Ladipo came.
Look, let me give you a list of them because I got a lot of them coming to our office at 3 Music for meetings.
Okay, so can you help me populate that list?
Sony Music West Africa, their label manager, Bemiro was here, Tiwa Savage was here, Ladipo was here.
The Maserati guy, what's his name?
Alakira.
Yeah.
He was here.
Yeah.
I mean, the video here is almost like his home.
Yes.
Pato Rankin is in, I mean, within the last few weeks.
Good.
DJ was in. Shoma Josie was in.
Hold on right there with the list for me. Hold on. Now, 2 out of the names you mentioned, which I had a chance to engage with them on the conversation and ask them, why are you here? What do you want? And their reaction and their response was, well, it looks like when we drop a song, you must come to Ghana to blow it.
Yeah.
Is that something we have that we haven't?
That's what I like. Fully.
We haven't.
Fully. I just broke it down.
We haven't.
Yeah.
When we are not tapping into something that we have as Ghanaians, we don't see we have.
To you, and I said to you that we have a unique situation where, unlike other countries, where if you want to get that faster blow effect in the diaspora, you needed to be vested there. Today, because of the effect where people are consuming and looking back home and consuming things from here, right? They get it easy. It's one of the fastest places that you can get at the attention of the diaspora. So they come in here. And then they engage, they use that. But the point I'm saying is that they do not just come. They are just coming. Look, I'm sure there are a number of talents in this town who do not know 5 of the top Ghanaian TikTok influencers. But these guys have them. So they come, they look out for all these things. Ziggy, all these guys, Wesley and all these guys on TikTok, influencers, Kali J. Before all the top Ghanaian artists decided to do that Twitter space with Kali J, Tiwa Savage did. And then now he opened the gates. But he's been doing it for what? Close to a month before she did that. But we're able to draw them like, okay, we like this guy. We think this guy's numbers are great. We think he's got this. He's got that. After Tiwa Savage, he did Sarkodie, and yesterday he did Shatawale. But all this while, the guy has been here and has been an influencer for some time. So that's the point that I'm saying to you, that we have that faster blow mechanism to the diaspora. We've got that. And then they come in here, they leverage it, but they leverage it better.
Okay. Let me give you an even bigger context to this.
Yeah.
And I say it as a very proud Ghanaian. Afro Nation Ghana Festival, if it wasn't Afro Nation Ghana Festival, it probably would not be a global acclaim. And I'm not saying it because I'm a Ghanaian. There's a certain blessing this land called Ghana has. take it spiritual, take it whatever. This land is the only space that punches above its weight in so many places. The size of our economy, the Kenyan economy is 6 times that. The volume of advertising business in Kenya, it makes our own, they look like coins, right? Nigeria, let's not even have those conversations, but there's something that none of them have. The French will call it the je ne sais quoi. I don't know, whatever that is. It's just that thing that makes us Ghanaian.
Yeah.
It is our blessing. So I was in Rwanda, and I think it was early part of it was the beginning of the year last year. Last year, the beginning of the year, just a month after, I think 2 months after Afro Nation. And a friend took me out. So we were having this conversation. A lot of, earpiece came to town. They were talking. Then they started, he didn't introduce me. So we're there eating, and they started the conversation on Afro Nation. Fam, me, the show I saw and what they described, difference there inside. Because I didn't see the show. I was working the show.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I always say, everybody was like, oh, but you enjoy. I said, nah, I didn't see anything. I watched videos and pictures to actually relive the experiences. Because I literally couldn't see Jack. I was in a different space. But I could hear these Rwandans describing their experience on our land. And I just said, thank you, God. What they had, what they experienced, what they went through, the whole Ghana vibe, the whole landing. One of the most positive things, and that really happened like months. It was just after lockdown, right? I go on Twitter. I'm very terrible with DM, so if you send me DM where I look at it a year from now, please don't bother.
A terrible gatekeeper.
Yeah, because I'm not a gatekeeper. So I go on LinkedIn, and then I see a notification. I check.
Yeah.
I actually go into Twitter first, and this guy, American, he sent me a DM on Afro Nation, and he said he'd like to talk. He put his number there and everything, and he had sent it, I think, 2 months before, and I hadn't seen it. Then I go to LinkedIn. The same person had looked me up, and it sent a DM, and this time when he added his number. So I was going to respond like, but the person's number. So I messaged him. And then it started a beautiful friendship. That's until today. And I was like, I'm able to talk in about a couple of hours. Yes, he said, yeah, he's in New York. It's fine. Then this guy just, when we got on the phone, he let it out. He's like, I went to Egypt before we came to Accra. We went to Joburg. We went to Egypt, Joburg before we came to Accra. So it was like a whole African trip. But the Ghana side, it's like, look, we went to all these historical sites, but we went to a vibe when we came to Ghana. We came for something else. We didn't know Afro Nation was happening. And then when we chanced upon it, it was like Dreamville for me. Jay Cole has a festival called Dreamville. It's like, and he's from the same hometown. His hometown is actually like Jay Cole. And it's like Dreamville for me, the experience, the whatnots and everything. It just tells you how much blessing we have. Everybody is tapping into our blessing other than the Ghanaian.
That's a punch every time.
Yes. Every person in Africa, every business, every place taps into the Ghanaian blessings other than us Ghanaians. Why? Because we are so focused on our problems.
Hold on. Please.
You said it's a language?
Yes.
There's nothing like, which of the cool say, good. Do you know where all the South African artists were running to? So every now and then I will get a... Shouts to Gary. Gary was, yo, Focalistic is landing in 2 hours. Yo, this DJ is landing. It's like, what is everybody? My Marisa is here coming to work with Wiz. You have time to meet. Half of them I didn't get even space for us to sit. The point is, there's something about Ghana. Ghanaians, we need to open our eyes. Everybody else is tapping into it. Even Nigerians run here to come and get a Ghanaian passport to run. Okay. And you want to tell me about language?
Okay, so hold on there. I've got about 25 minutes. Let me also give listeners a chance to join in the conversations. You can call me on 0302 216 541. 0302 216 541. We are talking about the connecting ourselves into the...
So all the things you said, there's a particular solution that we're drilling
We'll come to that, but I've got some messages here. The media needs to play music based on general...
God.
Hold on.
Next.
R&B dancehall. That's to allow artists to have more exposure. We'll come to that.
Tiring,
It's tiring.
Hold on, please. I beg you. It is quite a systematic problem, says, simply because we lack the business and economic structures to support whatever happens in this country. Okay.
Yes.
Please, good afternoon. I really love the conversation. I'm Freddie. He's just a gospel artist. I'm in Kumasi, and by God's grace, I'm out with an album. Okay, free promo. I'll do it for you. Since 2018. Get us the album, we'll play for you. He says, but I did everything myself. In Ghana here, we don't really help new artists. We only focus on the hit one. So I'm sure he's trying to explain that. By God's grace, who's listening to my song, tell me. Okay, I think it's a bit difficult to read in English.
Hey,
but
my
I think
brother,
I get
Freddie,
that.
I got free advice for you. How many churches are in your area that you live in? Please take a microphone and perform in every single church in your area. Every day, go. You sing your own song. You lead worship for 3 months and tell me that I won't be calling you and giving you 100,000 to go and perform somewhere.
All
Free.
right. Okay.
You want to talk about?
Free advice. How much does it cost? Amma from La says, language is not the problem. We have good examples like Angelique Kijo, Batongo, yes, Agolo.
Zibote. Listen,
yes.
Those of you who are young.
I know. Don't disclose our ages with us saying that we know Zibote.
Zibote.
I know. I had my own ways of singing.
Charlie.
Yes.
I could literally sing the words, and I still don't understand it. It's been 30 years, and I still remember.
Don't understand
you want to talk about language? No, music transcends language.
0302-216-541. You can call us if you're listening. Anyway.
So Foley, you see why every time I make the point that elevating the conversation of industry is very important, because sometimes some of these often lacking
supposedly
insights,
bread and butter issue.
Yeah, often lacking insights.
Yes,
often lacking insights narrative that's put into the system are consumed and becomes a narrative. So a case in point is this thing that we've been overly fixated on in terms of the media are not doing this, the media are not doing this, and all of those things. Once somebody that was influential put out that narrative, boom, and people that are obviously looking into industry and do not have informed views, consumed it and took it and it created a deeply held perception in their mind. Mm-hmm. They think that is the problem to the space. But what you don't know that is that a lot of these media houses again are in the business of harnessing an audience for advertisers. And so in that instance, a chunk of what they do will be determined by the insight they pick on consumer behavior.
Thank you.
And the content that they keep feeding them. I just gave an example where young people or your target are spending 3 hours watching a particular channel, when ordinarily you should spend an hour, which is considered high enough, because perhaps maybe what's being fed them are things that they like. So in that instance, what would somebody that is there in the business of harnessing an audience for advertisers, which contributes to his bottom line, do?
Hold on, let me get this call on the line real quickly. Hello? Hello, can you hear us? Good afternoon.
Hello. Yes. Good evening.
Oh, good evening. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, please.
My name is Felix, and I'm calling from Kokomimli.
Talk to us.
Yes, I really love the last submission by, what's his name?
Sadiq or Rudy?
Yeah, Rudy. Yes. You see, there is a saying in Ghana. Yeah, I'm sure you understand Ghana.
A bit.
It says that showing your fall. You see, showing your fall. You see, we.
What does that mean for the benefit of those who can't speak?
It means the grass looks greener somewhere. Looking from afar, it's nice. You see, Ghanaians have the patience for looking elsewhere for greener pastures. When it is so clear to us and everybody, especially foreigners, that the grass is green here. Look at the Nigerians, look at Indians, Chinese, Syrians, Lebanese and all. They see opportunities here. They see beautiful things here, and they run here and they succeed. And we are always looking elsewhere, even places that do not have. I don't get it.
Yes.
You see, this same Afro Nation he was talking about, we had people, so-called entertainment pundits, who were running it down. The kind of things they said about it.
Jokers.
They were jokers. Thank you. Thank you.
I talk.
Oh, I think I lost him on the. Yes. So we get the point.
Sorry, I think that gradually we've been drilling it down. Of course, we've identified the.
But isn't it normal to have critics to a program?
No. The thing is, it's not about. You see, Jay. There's informed, there's constructive, Criticism is great,
Okay.
and let's not.
Okay, so please hold on. Sorry, let me catch you and pick this caller as well. Let me just get. Oh, I'm so sorry. I lost the person's. Let me see. Hello. Okay, I lost that one there. But please, you can call us at 0302-216-541. Apologies on dropping that call earlier on. But Rudy, you were saying.
I'm saying that please let's not. There's constructive criticism when people, and you see what it is. I said it's either a blessing or a lesson. Constructive criticism shows you what you need to, the lessons that you need to learn. I'm saying that I choose not to focus on what you call problems, like language, like media is not playing. I don't understand all of that. Like what Freddie said, I did everything for it didn't matter. Do you have a market? Yes, you have a market. As soon as you start to see the positivity of your situation, you'll find a solution to it.
Hold on. Hello?
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You can talk to us. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
My name is Charles. I'm calling from Accra.
Charles from Accra. Okay, Charles,
Yes.
please talk to us.
Hey, thank you and your panel. Today they've said really great things. Ghanaians look everywhere for solutions to their problems other than their own circles. We have everything here. We have all the experiences, all the failures, everything to learn from to be great. But we look elsewhere. And these Nigerians will come here, pick what we have, go and polish it, and we follow them as if we never existed. So everything they've said today really points out to the fact that if we stop looking at the problems and actually look at what we have as a solution and build on it, trust me, the world will be trooping here. And what they said about Afro Nation, look, that year, see how the world came to Ghana. See how the focus was on Ghana. Yet our own people were criticizing them. And I felt like, yo, you have such a great program going on. What else do you have to do? Just support it. Throw the light on it so that it became a yearly affair. Later on, it even became political. Thank you, guys. You've said some great things today, and I've learned a lot.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you. Really appreciate your call as well. 0302-216-541. Quickly, okay, I have another call on the line. Let me pick another caller here. Hope I haven't dropped the call. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Steven. I'm calling from Adenta.
Talk to us.
I just want to say, in Ghana, we mostly dwell on the past a lot. In this music industry, I feel like we're still talking about high life and those stuff every day. Let's give chances to new music. Because when you look at the foreigners like this, they had a time for the cools. Everything keeps moving. And I feel like now we are in a time of the pop arts and stuff like that. So if it's now time for Afropop for Africa, let's all move to that direction. If there is a new bit that it's making waves, let's all jump on that new bit. That's what Nigeria is doing. So I feel like when we all moving to that direction, it will be far better than always keep talking about, oh, high life is ours. Let's do more high life. Let's do more of this. Where the world is moving, let's move to that direction. I think everything will be okay and we too will be more recognized. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 0302216541. Join us on our conversation. You can also do so via social media. It's don't forget the hashtag Showbiz A to Z. I have another caller on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Jerry calling from Winneba.
Jerry, talk to us.
All right. Listening to the program, I feel this is an education that needs to transcend to the basic level where every talent has to learn it from now. Previously, we were taking it as a talent, where the business aspect of it were not explained to us. But looking at the program, I feel there should be a curriculum that will be developed to help talent in schools, so that before you get out there, you get to know that there is a business to do with the talent. That is the very first point. The second point has to do with how we are communicating and then comparing ourselves to Nigeria. They have done it to the world. But how is the Ghanaian talent also positioning itself to the world? But all the time, there is the comparison between Ghana, Nigeria, they are looking at themselves in a bigger market. Okay, why don't we also look at ourselves in that bigger market than also looking at them? It's not to say that we can't learn from them, but people are doing it. South Africa is presenting the Amapiano sound, and then Nigeria has been able to be dominant in the Afrobeat, but Ghana still wants to rely on Nigeria to position itself to the world. So I feel the conversation has to to be that how are we presenting ourselves to the world now, plugging into the international market as you are discussing. So this is what I have, and then thank you for
Jerry.
the information.
Thank you too, Jerry. Thank you so much. I have a last call on the line. Let me pick real quickly now. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Nipapo from Koshimo.
Yes, Nee, talk to me.
Yes, the previous caller was talking about Ghana paying too much attention to the past. He was talking about giving attention to new music and, so to speak, thinking that high life is old, it's an old thing. So, Nigerians have not thrown their juju music away. They still hold it dear. Even when at this time they are getting Grammys and Grammy nominations and winning and all that from Afro pop and all that. You see, Jamaica did not throw reggae or have not thrown reggae away, even though reggae dancehall and all that are coming up. You see, so there is something that gives you your identity, that holds your culture. So in the name of a new thing that is taking you far, you should throw away what identifies you. No. After all, the Bible talks about good name is better than riches. You see, even though riches is also good, your good name is also right there in the mix. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much, my brother calling us. Great points that he also shared in there. I don't know if I get a reaction from the studio. Hold on.
I think maybe the context may have been lost on the last caller a little bit on what he meant by looking to the past, right? I think what the first caller probably was looking at was not throw everything that you've done in the past away. What he's saying is this: there are trends that are happening. Music has shifted in so many ways. So what is it? How are we adapting to it? It's not that we throw it away. What's the conversation in the last couple of weeks? It's been about high life as a genre and whatnot. And I love the fact that we're having these conversations. People go
very healthy
extreme ends to actually preserve art forms. The thing is this: we must be deliberate about it without necessarily being stuck in a space that doesn't allow us to progress. The VGMAs used to have contemporary high life. There was a decade where it made sense. When we did the review, I think 10 years ago or something, or so, we thought that line is being starved. And honestly, we needed to move on because all the artists even that were feeding that line of it where you could clearly say that this is a second form of high life. It's not. It wasn't happening. Now, guess what? Who's sustaining high life at the moment? It's actually not old musicians. It's young musicians who probably don't even have access to the past that are actually sustaining the art form.
They have their own variation.
And then the thing is, they are even putting variations and taking it to new markets.
And that's what I want to ask. In our last 9 minutes left, I want to ask about this high life. Are we being honest with ourselves as Ghanaians, still calling the genre of music that these new Gen Z is creating as variations of high life, or it's a new sound that should be focused on with a new brand?
What do you call drill? What do you call drill?
Well, you might want to just help me with your explanation.
It's a variation of hip hop.
Okay, in that sense. Okay,
I get
you.
So look, there are different school of thoughts on this, and I've had a lot of banters with someone like that I've gone on this, where one school of thought says that, look, call it high life, but when the different variations, when the different generations come with their vision, different generations, maybe you can give it sub names just to differentiate it, and then keep the history and identity. The high life of the 70s was different from the high life of the 80s. Heck, from the mid 80s to the late 80s, when the Bugger High Life became popular, it was a different version of the High Life then, and that's why they added the Bugger to it, just to give it, just for you to identify the variation. Then in the early 90s to about the late 90s, when the high life of the young people then was also totally different from the Bugger High Life and the high lives of the 70s and everything. They gave it a name, what they call the contemporary high life. Which was
there was Bugger High Life.
Yes. That's what
predominantly being done by immigrants that were not living in Ghana. They were in Germany, Holland, whatnot.
Yes.
And again, it had electronic drum parts in there, so it became Bugger.
So they call it contemporary high life. Now guess what? Even hip life had an element in there that was a high life. It's what there was a high life with rap. So it was a high life. It's been high life true. So there are two schools of thought that says that one, keep to the name, but every generation when it comes now, Kwame Eugene says that look, let's call it Afro High Life, because perhaps what he's doing, even though he has major elements of high life in there, it's a very varied versions of it. As a way of using that to help to continue to assert our place in the marketplace. But at the end of the day, look, regardless of whether you want to call it country, pop, whatever that they are doing today, people are not so focused on the genres per se. They're just giving good music, obviously informed by the insight you're picking on the biggest users of music at a certain point in time.
I'm going to ask you a final question, but before I do that, it's still about high life, and just so you can start thinking through, because I have Stephen and Ketia just joining us on the line real quickly, but I'm going to be asking you this question. Just think through. So you mentioned drill. We can easily identify the elements in there that make us define it as drill, and it cuts across pop and all those other genres. Are there any elements in our high life or Afro high life that we can easily always make sure it is in our music, so we stick to this DNA? But I'll come to that. Stephen, good morning. Sorry, did I just say good morning?
The morning show,
I am morning show host.
Never goes after. Don't worry, you're not alone.
I knew I was going to make this mistake today.
This is actually the third time.
Yeah, this is the third time.
I've been counting.
Oh my days, Steve, please. No,
he needs a morning show.
He's not in Ghana, so understand me. I just said. Please tell me it's morning wherever you are.
It's afternoon. It's 1:48 p.m. here.
Just an hour past noon, so I'm almost close. But anyway, please let's hear your contribution to this conversation.
Yes. I wanted to say something little to add to. I didn't get the whole when the show started, and I was prompted to listen. I see a lot of new artists. Everybody trying to. Let's do this. I name my song this Afro, that. At the end of the day, it's all about doing good music.
Yeah.
When you're able to do good music, and when you're able to find your audience, no matter what song or music you are in, you are able to find your audience, your target audience. You can market yourself well to them, and they will buy and they will stream, and you make money. I was just speaking with a guy in Canada. He managed an artist nobody even knows. He has just 3,000 Instagram followers, and he was able to make $10K with an investment of $485. He was able to market his music to that 3,000 followers for him to make 10,000 out of it. So I believe a lot of new artists and all the artists that are there, they should sometimes focus on the business side, how to market their music, how to promote their song to the right audience. That's my little, I wanted to say about it.
Thank you very, very much. The points you've raised also very important. Yes, it is very possible if you find your audience and you market to that audience. It's also a good start. And for all you know, that audience will grow, and the next thing it becomes a viral conversation for you. Steve, thank you so very much for joining us on the show. My time is almost up, but I really appreciate your time here with us as well. We'll definitely get into more conversations with you. I know you also are well versed in this area, and you've got so much knowledge in there with the people we have dealt with. But thank you very much. So that's Stephen Nketa. He's also a digital manager Back to my last point, and then we
You
can
need
wrap.
Sarko is digital manager.
Okay, I was cutting of course, but maybe because he dealt with it.
But the thing is, Steven is a lot of things.
Steven is a lot of things. It goes
and you
beyond.
know one of the things, I got massive respect for Steven for not getting out of the field. Because
Yeah.
for
Yes.
a fashion creative, a brand, what you call it, a brand creator like him, like the patience he needs to do that, like him, I admire him. I tell him all the time, like,
Yeah.
you stayed cool, like, because maybe if Steven got out, what that Virgin Abloh job will be his.
In 1 minute, is High Life our best foot forward?
Good music should
Great
be our
music.
Great
It's our
music,
best foot forward.
It is High Life.
Great
which
music
is,
can be high life, can be hip
There's
life,
been
can be hip hop, can
extensive
be Afrobeat.
conversations about High Life music and
Labels,
Gen
labels,
Z.
labels.
Gen Z is not getting it. Gen Z is
Labels,
getting
labels,
it. I do
labels.
agree with where you're coming from.
Oh, by the way,
However,
check out the new flavor Nabania single that dropped
however,
this week.
Rudy-
Like wicked.
Rudy-
My point is great music
yeah.
cuts through. Bila is about to serve us that.
yes. Great music cuts through. Let's not run away
But
from the
Foley,
question. Yes.
Foley, look,
Is
what-
High Life our best foot forward?
Okay, so Foley,
Yes.
to answer, I just said that good music, Judy just says great music is our best foot forward. But in speaking about this, when we broke down the problems or the issues of what we need to do, the issues boiled down to about 3 points, and it was never about the genre. You know, we spoke about how, for instance, yes, we're plugged into the system, but the song, just by sitting on the digital platforms, will not move on its own. We've been talking about the business part of it that is lacking in
Salif
how.
Keita, you soon do.
Yes, and how we are not working with the insights. I mean, we've spoken about how we've really had, extensively spoken about the Ghana vibe, which is well activated during December, which is
Ghana is
has
a
become a
great
holiday
foot
maker
forward.
sport. Yes, Ghana in December is
Yes.
the holiday maker sport. That Ghana vibe that attracts these people to Ghana as a holiday maker sport.
You have a
obviously
journal.
must be
Just in the
linked,
interest of time, I have
must and can
I
be
have 30
linked to our
seconds
music.
left. Just in the interest of time, you have a category, a journal that is in competition with dance hall,
Jay,
hip
I'll
hop.
say this to you. Once upon a
And
time,
this
it was
is-
easy
this
to
is-
put a label to it.
Yes,
right?
this is
no,
this
once
is the
upon a
reality on the
time,
ground.
you
Where
got 30 seconds.
I
Let me
know,
answer your
that's-
question for you.
I have to go now.
Listen,
Okay.
once upon a time, you could put a label to it and run with
Yes.
it, right? You could put it in a bucket. I'm saying the buckets have been smashed.
Okay.
Do great things. And so many pockets of audience have actually, we are niching by the day.
This is the talk. I want to go down to reality where if Wobete was at a function where he was supposed to drop a song, a hit song to get the audience moving. If I give him the microphone, he'll probably drop a dancehall artist song, a Ghanaian dancehall, or
But it most likely be
or-
an Afrobeat song.
it's High Life our best foot forward. A conversation that will come back to next week,
Yeah,
very
another time,
likely
'cause-
on the show. But thank you very much to the whole team that's made this conversation possible. To you, Philip, team lead here, Anita, Crispy, DJ Ubeti, O4Z. I know. Yes, we are mixing numbers and alphabets. And Zeke the Geek is also in here. Thank you very much to my pundits and my panel here as well. Rudy Kwache, CEO of Rave Group, Afro Nation Ghana as well, and Sadiq Abdullahi, CEO 3 Music Networks. Thank you very much. My name is Jay Foley, sitting in for George Quay here on Showbiz A to Z. Hope you've also enjoyed that conversation. Stick and stay and enjoy more of Joy 99.7 FM.
You ready? Go! One time.
It's Showbiz A to Z.
Yeah, Charlie Paddy who no like money. Baby, would you put it down for me? And I'm in the video, you they see me like Johnny.